What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another album review, and I was supposed to have reviewed this one last week, but I guess, different release date. Again, I was fooled, but I'm talking about it now. I am talking about the latest offering from a.k.a. thrash legends Hirax, Faster Than Death. So this officially came out on February 28th on Armageddon label. I think that's the name of the label. And to my recollection, I think this is the band's 5th studio full-length overall. Of course, this band has been around since 82, 83 is one of the early LA thrash bands, along with Metallica, Dark Angel, Agent Steel, even though Agent Steel I could kind of almost call a power metal band at times. But regardless, Hirax has been seen as like an all-time legendary underground thrash band. Caden, he's still going full tilt with his vocals and being one of the mascots for thrash. And, well, here we are with a new album. And, well, let's go ahead and get into it. So we kick off with Drill Into the Brain. Immediately love the guitar tone, love the drum tones. Like, it sounds like back in the 80s, but done with like a modern twist. Almost like if Arthur Risk would have produced this album, which to my knowledge, I don't think he did. But it would have been cool if he did. But it sounds similar to an Arthur Risk production in the sense that it's gritty, it's crunchy, it's raw, but it still sounds audible and listenable, which is great. Musically, really top to bottom, this entire album is just chock full of classic 80s thrash riffs, thrash beats, and shredding solos. Like, that's pretty much the main mode you get on this album. In terms of like some differences within the songs, the track Armageddon, the riff work kind of reminds me a lot of early Exodus, like their early demos and Bonded by Blood. Kind of has that like unwieldy, unhinged quality to them. But at the same time, there's some riffs that pop up here and there on this track as well as Relentless. Little bit of sleazy riffs, like kind of bringing out that, yeah, this was an LA band, so kind of got a little bit of sleaze in there, which I think adds a nice touch to the song itself. And then also a really cool bass line shows up towards the end. Drowned Bodies, this one goes for more chugging riffs, but then the thrash riffs that show up here are almost like hardcore crossover thrash, similar to, I would say DRI would be the band I would say these riffs sound very close to. The title track, love the drum intro that kicks this track off, but it gets very chuggy and very aggressive with its chugs before it goes straight into like your classic thrash riffs. Now, Psychiatric Ward, this one brings out a little bit of Metallica in the sense that it's mostly downstrokes on the riffs, but they are downpicked riffs of classic proportions. And it made me think a lot of Metallica because, after all, Mustaine and Hetfield were the true pioneers of downstroke riffs, at least in the metal sense. Yeah, you had punk before, but in terms of doing it in metal, it was Mustaine and Hetfield. Now, the song Relentless, this one, I think, goes for a lot more of, like, classic D-beat hardcore a little bit. Like, it's very punky. The riffs are very similar to, I would say, Discharge. Like, that more dirty, heavier side of hardcore, D-beats, punk, what have you, but done in a metal texture, I should say. And I really like the song for that reason. Plus, you do get a little bit of that sleazy quality. Revenant, I love the opening melodic legato going on with the guitars, and then the drums build everything up pretty nicely. Chug and gallops galore. Even a tapping section shows up when it comes down to the solos on here. Warlord's Command, really cool gallops and drums and low-end riffs, and it just gets flat out furious, and even gets into classic thrash double time, which is pretty cool. And then the closer, World's End, just your typical thrash song that's meant to deliver the album on a big closing note. So yeah, top to bottom, it's just going straight down the line thrash with little touches of sleaze, little touches of hardcore, little touches of like Discharge D-beat stuff, touches of punk, but I would still call this a straight up thrash album. I don't think I would call it top to bottom a crossover thrash album, as some people might say Hirax were or are. Now, as far as what you get on terms of like the length, this is a short album. It's just nearly 22 minutes. In fact, the longest track, I believe to my recollection, was almost to the 4 minute mark, whereas most of these songs are like 2 minutes plus, like in between 2 to 3 minutes, with a couple of songs under the 2 minute mark. But yeah, it's just going short, sweet, straight to the point with a lot of these songs. Now, as far as complaints go, I kind of wish there could have been more on this album, like a couple of more songs, or at least expand on a couple of these songs. And then, really, the only major complaint I had was the opening double bass on Warlord's Command. I thought the double bass right there, it was sloppy, but it kind of adds to the charm. It's like, hey, we're just goofing off, having fun, writing some killer thrash songs. So I'll excuse the sloppy double bass right there. But overall, I thought this was some really, really good stuff. Although I do think it's missing a little bit of meat. I do wish there could have been more. But overall, I still thought for what it was really good. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. So definitely more old school thrash Titans still ripping it out. Caden's vocals are absolutely killer on here. Like, he's not as high as he used to be. He just sounds more pissed off, if anything, in his delivery. So if you're into Hirax, or as well as bands like Exodus, Metallica, I would say DRI a little bit as well, definitely check this out. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But until next time, thank you for watching, keep your horns high, and your dreams wet.